Hello there people, how are we doing today? So just to start off with this video, I want to point out I have YouTube chapters. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain part that most interests you, just look ahead in the timeline of YouTube video, there'll be named chapters and you can skip ahead if you want to. Secondly, this roster rotation came out super early. So if you don't remember, last year Facepunch delayed the Lunar New Year sale by a day, and well, this time they made it super early. So if we're normally going to expect a Rustle rotation to happen around between 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening my time, right now it's 7:22, this came out at 11 in the morning for me, like 7 to 9 hours earlier than expected. So this was out of the ordinary, wasn't it? It was an abnormal Rustle rotation. Right, so, of course, we can already see some of the skins that were accepted. Where's the double door? Where's the clothing? Where's the armour? Oh, the only weapon to be accepted was... Right, so we got some opinions and we got some things that we want to talk about. So first of all, let's just go over to here. Let's go find out who got their skins accepted. Congratulations to... Well, actually, they always have a partner with them, so we should just double check and make sure the partner also gets a shout as well. So, congratulations to Michael and CD. Congratulations to Eros. Congratulations to Steel Rot. That's your first skin to be accepted as well, isn't it, buddy? Congratulations. Congratulations to Sir Q. Congratulations to Dark Schneider. You did a very good job with this. You showed me beforehand, and you did a very good job. That's a really good looking garage door. Congratulations to Samotra Multi. Congratulations to NFN. And yep, that's everybody. Right. So, now that we've seen who got their skins accepted, now we're going to go quickly find out what is and isn't abnormal. So, one thing to do is to go over to here, click all of these new skins. Also the rabbit, but you should know. I'll explain that in a second. We'll explain that in a second. So, yep. So, large rabbit box, it's abnormal. The Lunar Locker is abnormal. The Lunar Rabbit Fortune's Gate is abnormal. The Rabbit Mask is by default abnormal. I'll explain that in a second. This red envelope satchel charge isn't abnormal. The small rabbit box is abnormal. The Year of the Rabbit AR is not abnormal. And the Year of the Rabbit Furnace is not abnormal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 abnormals. Now let me explain this. This is an item. Technically, yes, it's a mask, but when there's a completely new item that's inserted into the game, by default, it will be abnormal. This is just the way things are. So, yeah, this is the... I think it's the 5th mask to be accepted. So every other year, it's been a different animal for the Lunar New Year. This year, it's the rabbit. Very nice. But let's just point out, all the stats are the same in each and every one of them. No one is different compared to the other. They're all the same. So if this is too expensive for you, you could just get the ox mask or the tiger mask. They're all the same. But it does look quite freaky. If that's what you want, that's, you know, it's up to you. So, yep. Other than that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 skins. So those are abnormal right there. All good. Right. So, there you are. That is the Rustle rotation. Of course, we got the return of some items as well, but something's missing, and that's a notable point that I want to bring up later. So what we're going to do now is just going to go take a real quick look and see what the prices are for the regular skins that just rotated. So what we have here is the Arctic Protection burlap shirt and pants. I go over to SEMM and we can see that we had 36,500 sales each. Now remember, SEMM doesn't track every single account on Steam, so there's a decent chance we have even more out there. And, you know, we were comparing it with the likes of the Arctic Camo Poncho, which had 43,000 sales almost. And then we were comparing it with other burlap skins that have come out recently. Well, fairly recently. The most recent one from here was 2021. So yeah, these had a lot of sales. Not as much as this one, but these are still quite high in terms of sales. 28,000, 28,000, 28,000 almost. So yeah, we know for a fact in the long term, we're very likely not going to see any more burlap shirt and pants being accepted. There's no guarantees. It's only the beginning of the year, but we are expecting that we're hardly ever going to see them being accepted. So we got that as a positive. It is also camouflage. It's helpful. Mr. Micro hid behind a bush in the snowy environment when we did our Saturday Skin Showcase, and it was very hard to see him, so we have that positive. And we know for a fact, and you can see it right there, Demon, the creator, he is making more. Now, will it be accepted? That's the next question. Will the other new pieces be accepted? We shall find out. But we have to take into consideration, is the quantity matching up with demand? Is there too much quantity compared to demand, which would then lead to loads of excess stock being thrown onto the Steam market and third-party sites, causing the price to gradually go down? Or is the demand actually there and it's going to keep up the price and life's going to be great and we're all going to be rich and happy and wonderful? Probably not, but maybe, possibly. It's something that we do have to take into consideration. So when we go back over to here, this has 2,500 requests to buy. This was on sale literally just, 12 hours ago, I guess you could say now. This was for sale for 99 cents. To our surprise, we had a very early Rust rotation, so this became marketable at a much earlier time. And, because we weren't expecting it, a lot of people jumped in already, and we got 2,500 requests to buy already. We do have the strange person that keeps doing ridiculously high quantity buy orders. So he's there with 1,000 requests there, and then we also have one here at 271 at 60 cents. So you might sit there and think, oh, surely it's never ever going to go below 69 cents. Well, here's the problem. Here's the thing that we have to take into consideration. Is he always going to keep that there, or is this just a bluff? Is this trying to make it seem more in demand than what it actually is? If it isn't, then yeah, that would stay up above 70 cents at the very least. It won't crash down as bad as the Poncho did when, for a good few months, Poncho was all by itself in terms of the Arctic collection, and it went as low as about 50 cents, which was really bad. But then, of course, it bounced back up with the inclusion of this being accepted. But when times are bad again, will this go below its Rust price? I wouldn't be surprised by it. I wouldn't be surprised if we touch to around $1, maybe a bit less. But then again, we don't know how bad things might get. All that we know at the moment is prices are good. So money's being thrown around like crazy at the moment. Will this hold? Probably not. And if you recall, a great thing that we can bring up is the likes of the tempered large box, which had a lot of sales. The demand was there, and it had a lot of sales, and right now it's almost got 400 quantity on the Steam market. So if we start seeing problems like that with the burlap clothing, then we will see prices gradually go down and down and down, much like what we saw with the tempered large box. So, yeah, it's looking very strong, but in terms of what happens next will be a factor in regards to will things still be alright. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go to the Rust player account, because it is the evening time now. And how many people playing Rust at the moment? 120,000. So it's not wipe day today. Well, some servers might have wipe days, but yeah. Player numbers are still okay. Like, it's not as good as the beginning of this month, of course, but it's good. Like 120,000 when previously the peaks for a whole month was about 130,000. We're still doing all right, and I reckon next month, February time, when we have a much better update, hopefully, we're going to see a much bigger increase in players again. Compared to the previous months, will we outdo January this month? I'm not sure, but we will find out soon, hopefully. So, yep, that is cool. Burlap is looking all right, but yeah, we're probably not going to be seeing any more burlap clothing being accepted for a while, so that's just the way it is. And maybe we will see some more Arctic protection / Arctic collection skins. We will see. Now we've got the likes of the Cybercode MP5, and for some strange reason, people are doing buy orders above $2. I mean, if you want to, that's totally fine. So, yep, this has 731 requests to buy, and yep, we got like 100 there, we've got 60 there. Bulk of the buy orders are below $1. Bulk of the buy orders are below $1, as expected, because people don't really have a lot of faith with MP5 skins. We talked about this last night during our abnormal buy orders video and stream, so yep. And then we have the likes of the Wasteland Python, and it's pretty much near enough the exact same thing. Yeah. This is awkward. Bulk of the buy orders are below $1. We do have this 100 quantity buy order here at $1.07. Doesn't make that much of a difference. It's still around $1, so yeah. This is just how things are, and yeah. Now, we are potentially seeing some more Wasteland skins being made. I mean, I could quickly show you that real quickly. So, on the horizon, we do have more. We do have more on the horizon because I saw the SAR. Yeah, I saw the SAR very recently. There you go. So, will the SAR be accepted? We will find out. And with the likes of the Cybercode collection, Eros is planning to make armour. Here we go. So, get a good look at that. Yes. Very dark green. So it's good in grassy environments, and it's also good at night time, maybe. But yeah, we shall see. There's no guarantees this would be accepted, but if it is, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if the accepted weapons do go up in price by a fair amount. We saw that with the likes of Skullkiller a good few months ago. We already had the weapons, but when the actual armour and clothing was accepted, the weapons that already existed went up in price. So yeah, very cool. Yep, so that is the regular skins. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just me preparing for a CSGO update. We might see a CSGO case maybe today, tomorrow, next week, next month. We don't know. But it's best to be prepared. Anyway, so Constellation's Garage Door. With the surprise rotation happening very early, did we see any people jump in and do some extra buy orders? Well, we did see this guy here do a $2.81 buy order just above this $2.80 guy. But yep, some people must have missed out at the very last second because they wanted to probably buy at the very last second. So yeah, some people are offering $3.30 already for a skin that was worth $2.99 just a half a day ago. And of course, we still have the 900 quantity buy order down there. Yep, it's pretty much the exact same. And we shall see what happens from here on now. Will it be a lovely progression for the Constellations collection this year? Or will this potentially be the last one to be accepted? We don't know. But if we do see more, I expect this to go up in price. I expect a reaction, the reactionary nature of the Rust economy. So, yeah. And then Twig Box and the, So this was selling for $1.99. Bulk of the buy orders going up to around here, $1. Going all the way up to around $1.50. And now extra buy orders have started to climb up to around $2.10. Now, will that last? I don't know. But what I can say is in terms of the sales, Twigbox only had around 12,000. Compare that with the single door, for example, that we saw literally the week before this. It's like a third as much bought compared to that. Not that it would have that much of an impact, but we did just see another small box being accepted this week. We are 3 rotations. No, because the one... Right, so within the past month, we've seen 3 small box skins being accepted. I think that's the best way of putting things. So, yeah. If I were to go over to... Here, we can see... let's go by newest... And yeah, we've had 1, 2, 3. These 3 small box skins accepted in the past month. This is doing alright. It glows in the dark. We potentially might see a Blue Lotus large box next week or the week after that because one's been submitted. Twig Box is potentially looking to be part of a very nice collection. And then, of course, we got the Chinese New Year skin to accepted again. Lunar New Year skin, sorry. So, yeah. And then you take a look at all of these, and most of them in the positive. It should be fine. With not that many sales, and with Twig... Because the Twig door sold so much, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another, at the very least, 2 more Twig skins being accepted. And with that, I would expect this to stay above its Rust door... Yeah, it should stay above its Rust door price at the very least. And in terms of sales, I mean, I think this is one of the lowest selling. If we go by highest subscribers, yeah, It's not all the way at the top, it's not all the way at the bottom, but it's sold less than what you would expect. Like, in terms of recent times, it has sold less than expected. So, we could probably point that out, and I just did. So, yep, you got that there. We shall see what happens from here on now. But yeah, like 22,000, 28,000, 16,000, 15,000, 15,000, 17,000, 17,000, 21,000. Yeah, you get the idea. So, maybe it'll work out well for it. And then we got the likes of the Dungeon Number 2. So, we potentially might be seeing some more Dungeon door skins being made. Well, accepted. We've seen the Garage Door. I'm pretty sure Stepan is going to add some more to this. It's looking to be something that's going to become a new collection. And we've got a very high amount of buy orders, much like the previous ones, but they kind of stop at around $2. Now, I did warn people to sit here and say maybe we might see a whole bunch more armoured doors being accepted. Sorry. like in 2022, because we had a ridiculous amount compared to the previous years, maybe this year's going to be very tame. If it's very tame, this is going to flourish. If it's not very tame, this is going to struggle. But if we see more skins being accepted, it's going to flourish. But if it doesn't get accepted, we're going to struggle. So yeah, you get the idea. I get the feeling we will see some more from this in terms of the collection, and I think this could bounce up quite nicely because of that. But I am still cautious that we're potentially going to be seeing a whole lot more armoured doors being accepted throughout this year. Just because not that many were submitted these past few weeks doesn't mean it's not going to happen over the course of the next few months. I mean, there's quite a big couple gaps here and there with the armoured doors, but then all of a sudden in 4 weeks we'd have 3 of them accepted and 3 rust door rotations in a row and whatnot. It was ridiculous, but yeah. We could complain and worry about loads of things, but at the moment, looking fairly strong. We shall see what happens from here. Alright, it's all good. Now, it did sell quite a lot. We should also point that out. 25,000 almost. But it does look cool. It does look cool. So, let's just put all that aside now. We've talked about the abnormals. That's all done. Now we can talk about the new skins. And yes, sorry about that. That's my session buddy. It's an extension. Helps you have links nice and prepared. All I have to do is double click and it just makes a whole window showing all of them. Right, so this is the front page at the moment. Not surprised to see the Chinese lantern on the front page. Why is this? Because it was reintroduced. When it's reintroduced, it sells at its rust door price, and that is to the equivalent of $2.49, I believe. And it's not $2.49 before. Literally just before, it was selling for around $4 each. So loads of people are selling them to the highest buy order. People who already own them, selling them to the highest buy order to quickly get some profit whilst they still can. So that's nice. That's cool. Right, so we've got all of these new skins looking very nice and very interesting. But here's some things I want to point out. If you saw my Lunar New Year skins workshop skin checks, we saw loads and 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 loads of doors. And only one got picked. Only one got picked. Now, that would have been nice. It would have been nice if Face Punch would have turned around and said, we're only going to accept one door skin. Because we probably would have seen even more variety in terms of what submissions would have happened. So, in terms of, like, take for example, the likes of the furnaces, only one person made a furnace, Anathen. He got accepted. Only one person made a small box, apparently, Samota. He got accepted. I'm pretty sure this collection isn't all of the Lunar New Year skins that were submitted, but in terms of the competition amongst each other here in the top picks list, yeah, a lot of deployables that was pretty much only one of were accepted. Go take a look at the locker, for example. One of, it was accepted. But all of these doors, wooden doors, sheet metal doors, double doors, for some reason, no double doors. We had a lot of fairly okay looking double door skins, and yeah. But in all fairness, Dark Schneider, your Lunar Rabbit Fortune's Gate garage door was perfection. It was wonderful. When I first saw it, I was like, that's got to get in. And it did. So congratulations to you. So now we're going to talk about what's going to be a good profit and, well, what's not going to be. We can only try our best. So, let's start off with the locker. So, we don't really see locker skins being accepted that much. We saw some very interesting locker skins submitted around Christmas, but it wasn't accepted, so that's unfortunate. This past Halloween, we had the Witch Altar. Sold a lot of them, but it struggled. I should at least point that out. After Halloween, it did struggle. Then when we hit post-Christmas time, it went up in price. Outer Planets Locker, throughout this year, ever since it came out during the beginning of July, it's been sitting at around $2. It hasn't gone too high, it hasn't gone too low, it's been alright. It hasn't really gone anywhere. But that's, again, of course, how many sales did it have? 33,000 sales. So this Lunar Locker Rabbit that we have here, it's really good. Like, I should point this out. It looks really, really nice. The fact that it looks as if the lanterns behind it are, emitting light and whatnot. Michael, CD, you did a very good job here, and I'm not surprised to see it sold 4,000 sales already. I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially go all the way up to 30,000 as well. But we have to take into consideration, and I know from the past, is this looking like it's going to be something that's going to be perfectly fine as time goes on? Well, at the very least, When times are good, what do you see? All the marketable locker skins are in the positive. But we should also point out these two, right, sold for $1.99. This is selling for $2.49. So if this is barely scraping past $2.50, right, and this is only $2.82, we do have to take into consideration the amount that likely will sell. So what I'm going to sit here and say is, it's also abnormal. We don't need to rush into buying it, alright? We don't need to rush into buying it. We can do our buy orders first, then we can make a purchase. Look how strong the buy order support looks afterwards, and then make a purchase. So we say this every single week, but it is the safest approach. Sounds good? Lovely. Right, now we've got the large rabbit box made by Sir Q. Congratulations, sir. And I want to give this as a nice little potential Easter egg update. You might not remember, but Sir Q actually tried to make a storage collection this past year, but unfortunately he submitted it around the time Graffiti Collection was still, getting new skins being accepted, and afterwards Facepunch just turned around and said, look, we've seen so many submissions recently for more storage collections, we don't want to see any more storage collection skins being made. As in, the guns one, and the meds one, and the clothes one. And unfortunately, Sir Q had a very, very good box. And it looks like it was the inspiration for this. So, you know what? I'm just going to show you. Yeah, not this one. Here we go, Transparency Collection. So let's just go over to here. You can see where he got his initial ideas from. In terms of what he got with this to lead to this. So when you see it at night time, you can see all the bits and pieces inside. It's very nice. It's full of firecrackers, I believe. And when you look over to here, for his initial idea, take for example the component storage, you can see the transparency full of nuts and the bolts and whatnot. So maybe this could potentially be, the fact that this was accepted, the motivating factor to maybe we see this return. Maybe we see a version 2. It's been, 2022 has passed us, Sir Q. It does feel like a perfectly fine time to jump back onto this and try our best and try and see if that potentially could turn into a new storage collection. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's focus with this large box for the Lunar Rabbit. Well, now it's Lunar Rabbit. Anyway, it's a very nice looking glow-in-the-dark large box, and recently we've had a decent amount of storage skins ever since Graffiti Collection. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. And all of them are in the positive. We should point that out. It's looking pretty good. When times were bad, a lot of these storages were struggling. When times are good, they're all in the positive. Wonderful. So, at the very least, this $2.49 large box, when times are good again in the future, and I can show you this right now. Here you go. Remember large tiger box? Wasn't super crazy in terms of design, but even now it's slightly above its rust store price. That sold 17,000. Now that did not glow in the dark, but I've been in this position before where I've looked at the likes of a Lunar New Year large box and I thought, maybe it's best to do like a buy order instead. This potentially might be the same situation in regards to this, but this stands out more, glows in the dark, helpful, looks cool. I get the feeling it might be doing quite alright this year, but I do have to anticipate bad times. So when bad times hit, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes below its rust store price. So at the moment, I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I just want to stick with doing a buy order. It's also abnormal. I'm not going to rush into it. I'm just going to stick with doing a buy order. It's the safest approach. And if you want, you can go look in the past and see if there's any other Chinese... there you go, large ox box. Came out 2 years ago. That's still below its rust store price. 25,000 sales, still below its rust store price. You can try your best to find best things to reference. You can try your best to build up some context. But I'd rather just wait until Wednesday or Thursday and then make the consideration. Now we've got the Year of the Rabbit Furnace. Looks alright. Nothing too wacky. It was the only furnace skin submitted for Lunar New Year. Or made by someone who's been in a top picks list before, I should say. So, yeah, I saw this, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't stand out insanely, but it still looks cool. The nice visual of the rabbit jumping over the moon, or rather, in front of the moon. Yeah, it's not a crazy looking skin, but it should be perfectly fine. But it's not something I'm looking at and thinking, you know what, this is going to be something I'm going to go crazy for. Now, this is part of the Chinese Zodiac collection, apparently. Oh, I didn't realise this was a whole thing. So he's had an ox one. He's had a tiger one. I didn't catch that. That's interesting. Now, actually, can we just quickly double check and make sure that's true? So if I go to the workshop, is this also made by... It is! I didn't know about that. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? So, yeah, that's cool. Right, so I guess we could look at the previous skins. Up 31%, up 20%. Times are good. Do we have to wait until times are good for it to go up in price? Let's go take a look at the Tiger Furnace. Uh-oh. VPN on. Boom. Go. There we are. Perfect. Right, so if you don't know, this is selling for $2.38 at the moment. And if we go over to here, yeah, this did struggle. At its lowest point, this was selling for $1. Not even $1. Not even $1. But ever since the end of October to now, it looks like it's tripled in price. Almost. So, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this struggles at some point in the future as well. I'm looking at this thinking, you know what? I'm probably going to do like a 80-cent to $1 buy order. That's what I'm probably going to do. Yeah. So let's just see how many sales happen. We can compare it with this again, and then we can make a decision whether or not to buy it or do a buy order. Oh, what was that? Anyway, now we've got the Lunar Rabbit Fortunes Gate. Gentlemen, this is a very, 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 very good-looking garage door. Dark Schneider, you knocked it out of the park. This just looks very appealing in terms of like flavour, the design of it, the fact that it actually looks like lights are behind it at night time and whatnot. You did a great job. Now we need to discuss, for its $4 price, or rather $3.99, is that going to hold? Well, there's one thing that I saw last year that appeared that did very nicely as time went on. Last year's Lunar New Year garage door skin. Tiger garage door. It was fairly simple in design, but a lot of people liked it, and that's all they wanted, just a nice, big, red, cool-looking garage door. Sold very nicely, sold 32,000 at $3.49, I should point out. But even then, it still managed to at least hold its value, even during the bad times. And now that it's the good times, it almost doubled in price. In fact, at one point, it did double up in price during post-Christmas. So now we have this garage door. This garage door, as I have said multiple times, looks really, really good. It looks really, really good. And I'm quite surprised to see it's not on the top sales at the moment. If it doesn't sell that much, I'm talking if it doesn't sell like 32,000 in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if this flourishes. Like, the price is probably intimidating people, and it's stopping them from wanting to buy maybe 100 or 50 of them extra. Remember, a lot of people like to buy excess amounts with the pure intent to sell for a profit. Nothing wrong with that, but of course it adds up in terms of quantity, and it makes us a bit cautious about oversaturation. At the moment, it's looking reasonably perfectly fine. Like, I think... Well, it's abnormal, so I don't need to rush into buying it. But I think it's going to be a case where it's only got like 20,000 sales, and when we do our buy orders afterwards, I think this might actually be a perfectly fine thing to buy. But then again, we've seen the averages in terms of garage door sales, garage door acceptances. In fact, I'll show you right here. In the previous couple years, it's been like 14 garage door acceptances every year. So here we are, 2020, we had 18. 2021 we had 14, and 2022 we had 14. So this year I wouldn't be surprised if we have 14 garage door skins accepted again. I mean, so far just this month we've had 2, and yeah, we're already like 1/7 of the way there. So it is a tricky one, but we don't need to worry about it now. Let's wait until Wednesday or Thursday, then make a move. That's probably the smartest choice. So we'll do our buy orders first, then we'll make considerations whether it's a good idea to buy in. Alright, sounds good. Let's now move on to talking about the small rabbit box. So this is also a part of a collection. Samota, I mean, you don't have to do too much, do you? But hey, I mean, it works and it's been successful, but we need to learn from the past here. So you might notice the amount of sales that the likes of the Ox box had, the small Tiger box. This came out during offline TV era and had 30,000 sales plus. Only now is it up 17%. But the small Tiger box was a lot more grounded, only had about 17,000 sales, and right now it's doubled in price. So let's go take a look at the Tiger box, and this is how we're going to get our best representation for how things are likely going to behave with our new Rabbit box. So when it came out, it was selling for $1.99, I believe. No, $1.49. I got that wrong. So it initially came out at quite a high price. Then it went down to around $1.40 something. Did fairly alright. Didn't go down in price. Didn't go up in price. Sorry about that. And then when we had some bad times, when we hit around summer sale, it did go down in price a bit. At its lowest point, it was still around $1.50 here. And then we had the buff to small boxes, and it shot up. And ever since then, even though it got quite low here, it was always above its restore price. But in terms of major profitability, it was a long-term profit. You had to wait until post-Christmas time to be able to sell it to get a decent amount of money back. So if you're going to look at the likes of the Rabbit box and think, could I make a quick profit out of this? Honestly, doesn't look like it. It looks like something you're going to have to hold at the very least for a year. Does that sound appealing to you? No? Then I just probably wouldn't touch it. But for me, yeah. And if you've got a lot of money at the moment, and you need to spend some money to be able to keep selling Ruskins, for example, buying them would be perfectly fine. Like, you just saw how stable the Tiger box was. Never really went up in price, never really went down in price. So at the very least, if you need to spend some money, that right there is actually looking fairly okay. It's just not super profitable until you wait at least a year. So that's my answer for that. Yeah, that's it, really. Now we've got Steel Rot. Yes, congratulations to Steel Rot, your first skin to be accepted. Congratulations, buddy. We have a satchel charge. Let's go take a look at all the most recent satchel charges that were accepted. Oh dear. Right, well, that's a problem. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. But this is the reality. Satchel charges aren't profitable. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. So, if you like the design, if you think it looks fairly cool and whatnot, please consider buying it. That applies to every skin that I've talked about today. If it looks cool and you want to use it, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it. Alright, that's good, that's fine. But we're looking at this with a financial perspective, and we have to take in consideration the bad things, the potential good things, the context, learn from the past. You get the idea. We've been doing it already, haven't we? So, with that satchel charge, I'm not super confident with it. I mean, it's as simple as that. So, yeah. I've seen, we should also point out, those satchel charge prices, yeah, they're up at the moment. They're up, alright? When it's not post-Christmas time, when the momentum goes down, these prices are going to go back down again. So, yeah. Yeah, that's not looking super appealing, is it? So, yep, that's just the added context. I'm trying to warn you lot. I think I got the message across. So, yeah. And all the way at the bottom over here, it's another AK-47. Yep. Yay. Out of all the potential weapon skins, and let me point this out, out of all the potential weapon skins, we had a very cool looking revolver, a very decent, nice looking Python. We had a very cool looking Thompson, cool looking custom SMG, some other SARs. Had a glow in the dark SAR, that was fairly cool. An L96. Nope, we got the AK. Yay. Oh, damn. So, yeah. We do this every single time we see a new AK skin. Down 24, down 29, down 44, down 41, down 40, down 44, down 35, down 29, down 53, down 28, down 30, down 47, down 36. Yeah, this is not looking good. It's not a surprise. Face Punch, if you actually watch me, please take into consideration now that we are seeing fatigue. We see far too many AK-47 skins being accepted. Relax, chill out, make it special, make it prestigious. Maybe only accept one AK skin every month, because we have far too many that exist and people just don't care enough about them anymore. You get the occasional very good looking one, that's true, but AK-47 skins used to sell 20,000 plus. It used to be routine, but gradually over time, how many AK skins do we have now? Does it tell me if I go by all, or is Bipolar Penguin in the future? You should probably have a number here saying total amount equals like 100 or something. Yeah, anyway, highest subscribers, what am I trying to look for? What am I trying to find? Damn, that had 37,000 sales. Whew, that was 2 years ago. I don't know what I was trying to find here. Lower subscribers would actually be pretty interesting. Yep, so that's only got 3,000 sales so far. That I had only 4,000 sales. Yeah, so in terms of modern times, the fact that this has only had 3,000 sales almost, I mean, yeah, I don't think this is even going to crack 10,000. I'd be surprised. Now, in terms of its design, it's all right. It's neat. You know, I don't want to kick it in terms of it's bad. It's perfectly fine for what it is. It's just with only, well, technically speaking, Sceptral Charge, I guess you could call a weapon, even though it's a green skin. It's technically a weapon. There was other options. I mean, yes, there's that glow-in-the-dark Lunar Lantern rocket launcher as well. That looked cool. Yes, it glows in the dark. It's kind of detrimental, but it looked cool. Come on. Don't get me started on clothing and armour as well. I mean, the silk burlap. Face punch, you literally just sold some burlap clothing that did 35,000 sales plus. Yes, it's literally the week after, but so many people would have liked this. It looks so cool, but it wasn't accepted. Alright, oh, sorry, clicked the wrong thing there. Alright, okay, you didn't like that, that's fine. But what about the likes of the Mask of the Dragon? Disco mask. That looked really cool. No, okay, what about the bucket helmets? Yes, these also glow in the dark. But it was funny. It was funny. There's, when we have our holiday events, it's nice to have a bit of leniency in having some glow-in-the-dark armour. We don't have that much glow-in-the-dark armour and clothing, by the way. So, if you're gonna complain, who's gonna want that? Well, it's nice to at least have it. It's nice to at least have the option. And do you honestly think people wouldn't want to run around with a glow-in-the-dark bucket helmet, just screaming their head off at night time with fireworks going off everywhere? Think about it. So yeah, there's a lot of fairly decent looking clothing and armour skins that could have been picked, but they just didn't pick any. And you might sit there and say, oh, but the mask? Yeah, but we get the mask every year. And that's not really a skin, it's technically an item, and we already have the same ones. I mean, as I mentioned, these masks are all the same stats. Dragon mask, rat mask, ox mask, tiger mask, rabbit mask. They're all the same in terms of stats. Now, there's also the question of, with the rabbit mask, what price might we want to put down for that? $2.42, $2.36. It's not looking very appealing, is it? No. That is unfortunate, but yeah, this is very likely going to end up at around $2. And I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. It will go below $2. It definitely will happen. These two did. So yeah, that is unfortunate. But the likes of the New Year Gong and the Dragon Door Knocker have gone up in price, $2.36 and $1.47. Better than what they were before. Yep, you can see that climb. So this is what happens when an item that is below its Rust Door price gets reintroduced at a higher price, and then suddenly everybody's like, oh, I want to use this now, and they'll just buy the cheaper ones that are on the Steam market. So it has happened before. You can see it right there last year. It happens very briefly, and then it goes back down in price again. So if you happen to own some of these, be prepared. And then I don't think this one's even gone up in price that much. Yeah, last year, a little bump, and then down again. And this time, little bump. How long would it go on for? Ooh. So yeah, if you own these and they're suddenly profitable now, yeah, I would consider selling them. Alright, so there is one notable thing that is missing here. And I've accidentally showed it. You've probably seen it. Do you know what it is? Can you see it? Well, no, you can't because it's not there. There was an item that wasn't reintroduced. There was an item that came out last year but wasn't brought back again this year, and I highly doubt that we will see it again for at least another year. And that is the other lantern. Where is the Sky Lantern? Now it's in your head. Now you realise, oh wait, hang on a minute. This might be discontinued. Now you might sit there and say, wait, what does that mean? Well, we get holiday items being introduced every year. I mean, take for example this. This is new. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. Most of the time we do. But when you have so many items coming out in 1 week, sometimes some of them just get taken out or removed for a while. And it looks like that's affected the Sky Lantern. So let me put this into words that you might understand. This right here, right? Right now it's selling for $3. There's 143 of them on the market. This right here very likely might climb up in price because a lot of people will assume that it's not coming back. There's no guarantees it won't come back, but there's a decent chance it might not come back. Let me show you a great example. That is the Easter door knocker. Oh mate, here we go. Well, come on, where is it? Easter wreath. Sorry, wreath. Sorry, I got that wrong. I'm an idiot. Right, so this was introduced 2019, a long time ago, right? And what basically happened was it was never brought back. So for the longest time, it came out at like 99 cents, and gradually people got it into their heads that, wait, hang on a minute, is this never being brought back? The next Easter it wasn't, so it just kept climbing. And the next year it wasn't brought back, it just kept climbing. And the next year it wasn't brought back, it kept climbing. And it got all the way up to around $10 at one point. And then that Easter egg suit fiasco happened last year. And Face Punch at the last second swapped in the wreath instead of the egg suit, and then it crashed. So, yeah, this is what happens when an item isn't reintroduced. And if it's never brought back ever again, it only keeps going higher and higher and higher in price. But you never know. Randomly, at some point in the future, they might randomly bring it back and then loses 10 times its value. But that's not the only one. There is another one. What's the other one? It is the Surgeon's Scrubs. So here's another one. Yeah, oh wow, what price are you now? Let's just turn on this. Let's get a good look at you. The price that you are now is $35. Yep. And it hasn't been brought back after about 2 years. So, yep, sold for around $10, and then, gradually goes up in price. Very nice. But it wasn't brought back for 1 year, and then the year after, and it only just keeps going up and 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 up in price. Yeah, it was slow, but now we see the exact same thing happening to this now. Is this the end? Are there never going to be any more of these being introduced? Purchased and then being created and added to the game? Do we only have a limited stock? If we go back over to here, SCMM knows that there are 1,800 of these floating around. So there's no guarantees, people. But it kind of looks like Sky Lantern probably might not be reintroduced for quite some time. Maybe never. We don't know. But yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items for Lunar New Year, so it's not a surprise. For just a 1 week event, yeah. So you get the idea. Maybe next year they bring back the Sky Lantern and don't bring back the Chinese Lantern. That very likely could happen. It could happen, yeah. So that's it. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Prices are still fairly okay at the moment, no issues there. The player count is fairly steady. I reckon we're going to have quite a lot of people playing during peak times for White Day February, so that's looking pretty good. It's a pattern we've seen with last year, February. Loads of people came back again for that as well. Compared to January, it wasn't as good, but they still came back. So, yeah, everything's still lining up quite nicely, and with the next week's potential skins, with so many collections being continued from the submissions I've seen just the past couple of days ago, things are lining up very nicely. Now, here's the problem, and one thing that I've mentioned already, where are the clothing skins? Where are the armor skins? For some strange reason, we're having a bit of a drought. But from what I've seen recently, we did see Tier 3 Frog Cosplay. We have seen Tier 2 Elite Crate. We have seen Frosty Hoodie and Pants version 2. We have seen, what was the other one? The Apostate. I mean, you can see it right here. For some reason, this is all mixed up with some other skins. Apostate, Tier 3 version 2. There's so many potential candidates. Are we maybe going to have a week where we have a big batch of just clothing and armor skins? There's so many deplorables this week. Maybe next week we see none of them, and we have loads of clothing and armor, and maybe an extra couple weapons, because technically speaking we've only had 2. But yeah, you get the idea. So I'm not sure what else I could talk about. I think I've pretty much covered everything. So yeah, that's it. And I guess I should point out, a nice money maker is to just do a decent buy order on the Chinese lantern. Routinely, every single year, this always goes up in price. So it gets reintroduced, goes down the price over the year. It goes up and up and up. Then it goes reintroduced, and then gradually goes up and up and up. Then it gets reintroduced and then gradually throughout the year goes up and up and up and up. So yeah, if you're looking for a fairly decent long-term investment, just put down a very decent buy order in this. I'd say maybe around like $1.80, maybe $2. And then, I mean, you could buy them. You could buy them if you want to. That would be perfectly fine. But you'd have to wait until at least maybe post-Christmas time to sell them for a very nice profit again. But it does work. I buy them routinely every single year with buy orders, and it's just easy, comfortable money, to put aside and then to sell again and get profits and then do it all over again. It's good. It's fun. It's nice. Yeah, that's basically it. We've covered everything. So, all right, let's just finish this off with a proper what's looking good in terms of a profit. At the moment, the Lunar Locker is looking to be a pretty good one. Large Rabbit Box, I get the feeling this might be a bit of a slow one, but in terms of long term, I think it's going to be perfectly fine. The Lunar Rabbit Fortune's Gate, I like it a lot, but the price is a bit of a problem. But that's also intimidating people to stay away from buying too many of them, which would prevent too many being bought in excess. So that's looking pretty good. So in the long term, this one, and this one, these three, these are looking very good. Now, in terms of safely holding your value, the money that you put in, I get the feeling the small rabbit box and maybe the rabbit furnace are going to be okay, but you're not going to really profit out of them. It's more of a case of I'll put my money into it, and a year later I'll sell them and get a decent profit out of it. That's it. So these two would only be good in terms of long term. These three potentially might be good short term ones, but again, sales affect price. And if we suddenly see loads of locker skins being accepted this year, that would cause problems for this as well. So yeah, that's basically it. We have covered everything, and everything's fairly alright. So congratulations to all the skin creators that got their skins accepted. Gentlemen, prices are still good. Yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you for watching me. And thank you. See ya. Bye.